The next chapter, well, the first chapter actually, is It Takes a Village. And so I pulled out, oops, I pulled out this quote because as a parent, a lot of times I'm thinking that if I do all this big and beyond over and above thing, that's what's going to cause my kid to really feel close to me or open up to me or feel well loved. And in this quote, what I found in this chapter is sometimes it's the basic things. It's the watching a show with them, it's playing catch with them, it's doing the things that they want to do, and maybe not always making them do the things you want to do. Although we will have sappy movies with moms sometime during this Christmas break, I'm just saying. But a lot of times it's important as parents for us to be open for somebody else to tell us, hey, here's a way you could be doing this parent thing a little bit better. And what did you think about this chapter? It Takes a Village, number one.
Well, another thing I read up in the chapter was when it was talking about like just finding out like what your kids or your sons or son or multiple sons can be dealing with, because
Mm-hmm.
there's so many things that happen. Like, I mean, you would think they're teenagers, like, I mean, what really happens in their life, but you'd be surprised. They're like emotional status of lots of teenagers is just so high
Mm-hmm.
throughout America and just like the world in these current days. It's like you wouldn't think like that they would be having so much stuff to deal with, but there's a
Well,
lot to
let's
deal
talk
with.
about that because what are some of the things that you have to deal with?
Well, me, that's another thing. See,
See how I slid that in there?
yeah, I know. See, and there are some things that are easier to talk about with dads than they are to talk about with moms, namely
Yeah.
relationships.
Yeah, but you
Can
know
talk
what
about,
though? You know what though? Moms are the best people to help you understand what a girl is thinking. Just like dads are the best people to help a young lady understand what a guy is thinking. Because I have found that what I'm thinking about a situation is not what the guy is thinking about the situation. And I know we have a very I know we have a more tolerant and gender fluid kind of we have a more gender fluid kind of world right now, right? But one of the things that I'm noticing is that one of the things that I'm noticing is that there are differences of interpretations. And if you can't come to your mom, then you're going to get all your information about girls from your teenage guy friends or your teenage girlfriends. And the teenage girl friends, they don't know a whole lot about being a woman and what a woman needs as you get older because they haven't been there yet and they just got a bunch of hormones. I know because I was one, right? And the guy friends, they're getting their information from who knows where, and it's usually not accurate. Okay, so what are some things that you all deal with?
well, definitely the internet is one big thing. Now, I'm not going to say that phones need to be taken away all the time because I don't want to be that
I
guy.
can't say that, huh?
I'm
You
not gonna
can't
be.
say that? Oh,
I
you're not
can't
going to
say that.
say that. You're not
I'm
going
not
to
gonna be
say
able to
that.
say that
Okay. Okay.
because I mean, there's a lot of things we do with phones, but nowadays that like are it's just integrated in our lifestyles nowadays. But the internet, TV, there's social media, all this stuff, and just like kids are like looking at all these things
Mm-hmm.
and it's like taking them away from their family instead of
Ah,
finding role
yeah.
models in your
Yeah.
family like your mom or your dad or something like that. They're looking to these people who are on the internet and those are becoming their role models and that's who they're basing themselves off of as those and to be truthful those fake personalities that are
Yeah.
being portrayed out
Yeah.
on social media and
And a
stuff like
lot of
that.
fakery on social media because what is social media designed for?
It's designed to for like people to feel good about themselves, like everything's so perfect and things like that. You know
Really? Because I thought it was designed about money
that. Well, yeah,
and influence and power.
right. And if you portray that everything in their life is perfect and people want to be like you, they're gonna follow you and you're gonna make more money like
Yeah,
that.
because what's the number one way to make money off people? Every sales training you ever go to is going to tell you antagonize the problem.
Yep.
Make people feel bad about themselves, and what you're offering is what they need to feel better about themselves.
Mhm.
All right. All right. So now let's go to the next chapter. And again, if you have a thought along these lines, if you have a question, if you have a comment, then I would love, love, love for you to drop it in. Now, I'm not going to comment first on this one. I want you to comment first on this one because, I got a mouthful to say about this one. Want me to put it back up? Here,
Sure.
let me put it back up. There we go. Look at that. What? Now, I'm sure there were other things. It was a pretty meaty chapter. There may have been other things you pulled out of that chapter, but this is what I pulled out of that chapter. So, what did you pull out of this chapter?
Well, what I pulled out of this chapter, namely, was the way young men talk about the things that they're dealing with.
Mm.
Because those things, especially when they're talking to their moms, that can come out as hurtful or disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, and like, we don't mean to come out as disrespectful or rude or anything like that. It's just we don't know how to word it in a way that makes it seem like to get what we're really dealing with across in a respectful manner, because it's just there's so much of it that it just comes out.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's just one
So one of the things that you're seeing is that you've got to learn some skills, and he equips you with some skills later in the book, right? Like, we're
Yes.
not giving away the whole book, right?
Right.
You need to go out and get the book, but there's some equipping that happens in this book, right?
Yes.
Okay, some equipping that happens in this book.